here to tell us.
So,
From the ripped ass just a piece of
no
shit.
good can come from it.
No one likes us.
All right, with me here today, I've got my man Chad, who's a lot of you may have known him. We played his band on the podcast a number of times. 21 Gun Salute. We'll get into other reasons you may know him as well. How you doing, Chad?
I'm good. How you doing, Ryan?
I'm good, brother. I'm good. So let's get some origin stuff out of the way. I'm always curious. My people are always curious to know this stuff. Punk rock being a huge part of your life. Well, where did that start for you? Where did you get into? What made you turn the corner getting into punk rock? So, was it a band, a record, a show, older brothers, something like that?
No, we were kind of into metal as little kids. I'm talking 84, 85, and then we started getting into some speed metal, and then that led to punk rock. And once I got my hands onto some punk rock, that was it.
Right on. Do you remember like a band that you started with and you went, oh shit, this is like, because like for me, I first heard Suicidal and the Ramones when I was a kid, probably on Rodney on the Rock, and I lost my mind. Shit was never the same. You know what I mean? So was there a specific band or a record?
It was kind of a transition. It was some Suicidal, SOD, DRI, like real fast.
A lot of thrashy punk shit. Yeah, for sure. So when did the whole skinhead thing start to emerge for you and become the thing you wanted to do?
That was kind of like in the about 87, 88-ish. Started finding out some of the old skinhead bands, Cockspar and Cockney Rejects, and all you get the This Is Oi comp, and it's like, oh my God, this is it. Like, it's amazing because those tunes still hold up today.
Oh, 100%. I mean, that's what got me too is, punk rock, but then I found, and metal. Actually, I started with metal too, but then I found a comp called 100% British Oi, and it just fucking blew my mind, I think that was on Captain Oi Records or one of those back in the day. We know you played drums for 21 Gun Salute. Were you in any other bands back in the day as well?
Yeah, we had a couple bands going. We did a band when I was in high school called The Distorted. Just like punk rock stuff, simple little stuff. We never did much. Played a couple little parties, and then we had a band called United Strong, and that was like the beginning of the Oi and skinhead music stuff.
Right on.
There's a cat named Tony Madrid. I don't know if you know him, Mad Tony.
I do know. I know Tony. Yeah.
He was our singer back in the day, and we used to rock it up, play some parties, and do some stuff. We did that for a couple years. Never really went anywhere. Everybody's still in high school or just out of high school. So
yeah, man,
we didn't know what to do or what to do with it. We just go and drink at parties and play at parties once in a while.
Right on. So
then, when that ended, it kind of took a long break from playing in bands. I always booked shows and I did a bunch of that stuff, and I've always been involved. But as far as playing in a band, I let it lay for a long time. For sure.
Did you play any other instruments, or are you just strictly a drummer?
Just I can barely play the drums, man.
All right. So is this the first this 21 Gun Salute stuff? Is this the first stuff you really like recorded?
Yeah. I mean, other than with a boombox back in the day.
Right. For sure. Oh, we all remember doing that shit. So back in 1989, the Unity crew gets started up in San Gabriel Valley. What was the reasoning behind that?
Actually, it started in about 86. We did this thing, and we called it San Gabriel Valley Hardcore Alliance. And basically, we had a couple of bonehead crews, like Nazi crews, running around. And we're like, man, we got to keep these guys from coming and messing everything up. So we started doing that and started recruiting some people and doing all this stuff. And then we had it going for a little bit. And then in about 88, 89, we came up with the concept of Unity. Said, man, like, this thing is kind of cool. Like we're starting to see some of these guys like not showing up like they were regularly back in the 80s.
Mm-hmm.
And, so 89 we came up with Unity, and it just took off from there.
Right on. Yeah, I mean,
and it was basically to stomp out the boneheads that were coming around the scene, chase them out of San Gabriel Valley was our main goal.
Yeah, 100%, and that's pretty much been done at this point. So, if anybody that's from LA knows the name of this crew, but you know, if they don't know what it's about, that is exactly what it is in a nutshell. Is there anything else any rumors you want to dispel that fucking knuckleheads might have?
As in
With the crew
the
or
general public, or are we talking like boneheads?
No, fuck the boneheads. I don't give a
boneheads
fuck.
already know. Fuck around and find out.
Yeah.
Come around. We invite them to everything. They just
don't
want to party with us anymore.
For sure. Then there you go. So another thing that I this is actually something I don't know a ton about, and I'm dying to know. When did you start fighting in the ring?
That was about, I want to say about 2001, one-ish. I did it for 4 or 5 years, and took up Muay Thai. And me and my buddy Brian he said, "Hey, you want to go to this gym with me?" I said, "Yeah, let's go to the gym. I'll go with you." He's all, "It's a kickboxing gym. We're going to take kickboxing lessons." I'm like, "All right, cool." First day we got there, they gave us gloves and these funny little shorts and put us in the ring. Said, "Okay, let's see what you guys got. Fight each other." So basically, like, we were in there for 10 minutes, and then we were in the ring fighting each other. So he cracked my rib and I splattered his nose. So it was a good time. I was hooked from that point on.
Right on. So when did you start going? Because I know you competed a little bit too. What was that? A little around like 2002 or something, after you went to the gym for a little bit?
Yeah, but I took my first smoker fight after about 3 months. They're like, my trainer was like, "Man, you like to fight, huh?" And I was like, "Yeah, I like to fight. I'm good." So he put me in a smoker, which is a low level, like gym to gym competition,
Right?
kind of like little league. And I did good, and I won, and did another one and another one, and so for the first couple of years, I was just doing smokers.
Yeah. But then you wound up going to, was it Thailand?
Yeah.
How'd you wind up
in Thailand. I was supposed to go and fight some Dutch champion, and he got hurt, and so I was there in Thailand without a fight, and then they offered me a fight with a Thai guy, and they're like, "Well, this guy has 80 something fights, and he's got like a couple of stadium championships under his belt."
Mm-hmm.
And, I was like, "I don't care. I just want to fight. Like, I'm here. Let's do it."
For sure. How'd that one go? Did you pull that one off, or?
Well, it ended up in a draw. It turns out that they in Thailand, you bet on the fights up until the end of the second round. So basically what was happening is, like, I was holding my own and doing really good. So they figured their guy wasn't going to lose by the end of the second round. So they pretty much said, "You got to get out of this fight." So he waited till the ref like broke us on a break, and he ran around and he hit me with an illegal elbow. And I was like, "Oh, all right, that's how it is." And then referee broke us up, warned him. He came around and he did it again after the bell. He was just trying to get disqualified. He came up and he jumped in the air and he slammed me with an elbow. I caught him, slammed him on the ground, and started hitting him on the ground. And then they pulled me off, and they disqualified him on the spot for what he did. And they turned around, and my coach was already getting in the ring, so they disqualified me also.
Oh shit!
So it ended in double disqualification.
Was that okay? That makes sense with the draw then. Okay, so and was that the end of fighting overseas, or?
Yeah, well, that was pretty much the end of. That was my big hurrah. That was pretty much the end of fighting.
All right, I got
shortly after that, I took a job where I wasn't able to train for 4 or 5 hours a day.
Sure.
And then a little bit after that, I got into a motorcycle accident. So
that's right. Yeah,
it was a rough deal to have to stop fighting and then stop training. So
for sure.
I was already older.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I actually thought this was earlier. I actually didn't realize it was that late. I thought it was in the 90s that you were fighting.
Yeah, no, 2005 was my last fight.
Heavy. Yeah, I mean, you still go to the gym when you can? Keep up on the Muay Thai stuff?
I haven't really been into a gym in quite a while.
I mean, yeah, man, work will take precedence a lot of times, man. Oh, excuse me. So when did, I mean, I know this, but when did you guys get together and start up 21 Gun Salute?
We started in about 2015. We were just talking, like one guy was like, "Hey, you play drums?" And I was like, kinda. And I was like, all right, cool. Like, let's get together and jam. And then my other friend, like Dingo, the singer, he's like, "Hey, I want to jam." So he came over and there it was. First practice, first get down, played a couple of old songs that they had from their old bands. And, just grew from there.
Right on. Now, so who's in the band now? It's you, Dingo, McFarland, and LeChuga still?
McFarland had to step off for a little while because he started a new career. So officially he's still in the band, but he's not playing, he's not practicing, he's not doing shows right now.
Yeah.
We have Eric Delgado filling in on bass, and Eric's officially in the band too. If they all want to play at once, we're gonna have to make room and maybe get a keyboard player or something. Get a couple of extra microphones or tambourine or something. There's room for everybody.
For sure. So I know we can't get into certain types of details, but I know you promoted shows back in the day too. So were there any really, not necessarily big bands, but really memorable shows that really stick out in your mind from back then?
There were tons of them. I mean, we did the Vandals, we did Face to Face, we did I'm trying to think of who else said, like I actually booked. Just at that time, Guttermouth, tons and tons of bands in the early 90s.
Mm-hmm.
We had the Addicts show up one day and play for us. No makeup, no, they just showed up and they just played. It was bitching. I got it on videotape. That's
cool, man.
Any favorites that we were always putting on, Schlep Rock and right. all of our local bands, Non-Tolerance and Powerless Powers. We had a bunch. Yapo, rest in peace, Yapo.
Yeah, rest in peace, Jimmy. That man was all right. I fucking loved that band. That was another thing I was going to bring up next was, are there bands? Because I know that there are. It seems like that to me, especially in LA, but SGV specifically, there's a lot of bands out there that people don't know. Are there some bands from back in the day or right now that motherfuckers should be hip to that there might not be? Because I mean, we got people listening in Jersey and New York and fucking Denmark and all types of shit that are interested in this type of stuff. Always ask me about bands. Is there bands from back in the day or right now from the SGV that people should know about?
There's a whole bunch of bands. We try to book them on our fest when we do it. Antisocial, Non-Tolerance, Schlep Rock was SGV back in the day. Generators are SGV. Same guys, pretty much.
It is, yeah.
Yeah, same as Doug and the Slugs.
Right.
We got some homies in a band called Vile Life. They're rocking pretty good right now. Trying to think of who else is. Back in the day, Tom had a band called Powerless Flowers, Tom Tilden.
Oh, I'm not hip to that one.
Yeah, that was a old like punk rock band back in the day.
Like old 77 style, like just grimy punk rock? Or
like Germs and
Black Flag, that type of shit.
Like yeah.
Right on. So as far as Unity Fest goes, obviously this last year was fucked for everybody, but there was two in a row. They went great. There was no fucking fights. The shit was great. Is that going to happen this year? It looks like a lot of things are opening up. Are you all looking at it? Or?
As soon as it opens up, we've got a list of bands we're going to contact and see if we can't make it happen. And we're going to try to do two of them back to back. We didn't give up our 2020 fest. We're just going to do it in 2021.
That's all right.
So that's what we're going to try to. That's what we're going to try to work with.
You're going to
try to do two of them. Yeah.
2 days? You mean?
What?
You're going to try to do 2 days?
already 2 days plus a pre-show. I'm talking about doing 2 fests.
Heavy.
So we're just gonna, and if it doesn't open up till later, we'll do 3 fests. We're just gonna call it our 2020 fest. Like, we ain't gonna like let this shit like make us miss our shit. It just
Yeah.
You know?
So what do you say you want to do 2 or even fucking 3? Are you just talking about several weekends in a row?
Different weekends. We'll do them months apart instead of like once a year. Now we'll do them twice a year.
There you go.
And then we'll see. We'll separate them, so it's not like, oh well, we expect everybody to come weekend after weekend. You know what I mean? That's impossible, because we have people coming from all over the states and all over. We got people coming from Mexico and some from Canada. We had a few from Europe, so we want to make sure that everybody can come to both. I mean, we don't want to have 2 weak ones. We want 2 really good ones.
For sure. Can you, I mean, obviously the shit's still in the works, and I'm sure you have, is there anybody that you're expecting or you think might show up, or do you want to spill who you might even be contacting for the fest coming up, or not? Too early?
I know for sure 21 Gun Salute will be there.
Yeah, for sure.
Above and beyond that, I don't want to say anything. We don't have a date. So we have a list of like people that said, yeah, we're down. And there's some pretty good names on that list. We got a lot of local guys, and we got a few bands from out of town. So we got to see where it falls. And you never want to jinx it by throwing names out there. And if we gotta confirm our date, and then we got to confirm their dates.
For sure.
And we got a couple of bands from overseas that we were going to bring in. So we don't know what the travel situation is going to be. So we don't want to jinx it. We don't want to put it out there until it's finalized.
Yeah, for sure. I personally, I'm hoping that Wes can come back out, and then I'm hoping that either Strong Arm or even Live by the Sword could play. I just want to see Eric up there, you know?
Yeah, I actually hit him up, and he said it depends on where they're at and what they're doing. So,
of course,
I don't think I'll bring Strong Arm again, because they just did it. So we're trying to like rotate most of the people. Wes kind of just did it by himself, but if Razorblade wants to come back, or even Wes, he's got all new stuff.
Yeah,
it's pretty easy to get him on.
Yeah, Wes has been hustling pretty hard. I just just did an interview with him a couple of days ago. He was doing some film
out like him, be crazy.
He's an animal. He fucking remember he broke his knee the day before and still performed sitting in a chair like an old man in a rocking chair. It was heavy.
They had to carry him in and carry him out. He still did it. He's like, the show must go on.
Yeah, he thugged that out pretty heavy, man. And so it is the other thing I'm curious, because Unity Fest has been at different spots. Are you just finding different spots every time, or are you trying to lock down a location?
Well, we're trying to find spots appropriate with what we sell with the tickets and the size of the bands, you know?
Sure.
The spot we used the last couple times was for the main show was pretty good. We did the pre-parties at Characters, so these Characters always shows us love all year, and so we try to do it there, you know. For sure.
Yeah, that's that same. You're talking about that same spot on Imperial, right?
Yeah.
That was all right. That was a good little spot.
I haven't actually spoke with that guy, so I don't know if that spot's going to be good to go when we're good to go. So, you know, he books it, he does things. So if not, we have other backup locations.
Right on.
Probably in downtown LA.
Oh, good. Yeah. Get even more heads in there, huh?
Yeah. Somewhere like that's just out of downtown. I mean, it's right there. You can,
for sure.
Right spot. You can see the big buildings.
Yeah, it's a bit, and I mean, it's a little like weird industrial art district. It's in like an alleyway spot, but it's a good little spot to have a show for sure.
Yeah.
So you got Union Oi Studios, records, what have you? What are your plans with that? I mean, for now, I know you're just getting started with it, and we just talked before we started. You know, you said you're getting things rolling, and you're recording some 21 Gun Salute stuff. You have plans to bring in other bands to do a record label or anything like that?
We basically have right now we have an open invite to the bands. If anybody's local and wants to come down and record while I'm learning the system, I'll bring them in and give them free sessions. And then eventually the goal is to rent out the space for rehearsal or recording. And then they can pay the studio rates or the whatever.
Sure.
Right now, it's pretty much, especially our friends, we're going to make it so they can all come in. And then once we get our recordings done, then we're going to try to release a comp of everybody who comes through, or multiple comps.
Oh, that's tight.
Comes through.
So how can people get in contact? Let's say somebody, you know, in the Central California to LA area wants to get a hold of you through the Instagram, the Union Oi Instagram, or?
Yeah, the Union Oi Instagram is probably easiest. Then that way I know what they're coming from or what they're looking for. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think it's just at Union Oi, right?
It's Union. Hold on, I have it written down right here. It's it's Union_Oi.
That's right. It's Union underscore Oi.
So, man, it's hard to find we wanted it to be Unity Studio, and like we wanted it to be all this stuff, but man, all those names are taken everywhere. So we,
I know it.
We find it when we were doing our business stuff where they're like, you need a name. I'm like, I can't think of one. And then like we finally came up with like, all right, let's do Union Oi, because it was on a short list of things. Almost everything else was scratched off. So I mean, that's what we got. We're Union Oi Studios.
That ain't bad. I mean, you know, that's close to Unity, and it's fucking, you know, it's Union Oi's very, you know, working class skinhead sounding shit, you know.
Yeah. It's definitely got its niche.
Yeah, for sure. So in the near future, you're just trying to bring the studio up to snuff, get better at this, and then turn this into like a label.
Yeah, that's definitely headed in that direction.
Right on. I don't have a ton else to talk to you about, but I do have some I always do some goofy questions towards the end. Unless there's something that you needed to put, I wanted to ask you that. Is there anything you want to promote, put over, let anybody know about that we haven't already talked about, Unity Fest, things like that?
No, everything's kind of in a holding pattern right now. So it's hard to push or promote stuff.
Yeah, for sure. Oh,
when you don't have dates, you don't have times, you don't have like our agenda's on hold. So it's hard to talk about our wish list. You know what I mean? Like,
so that actually is some. So I know you guys been in the studio. You've been recording some new material.
Yeah.
I think Dingo told me you had a couple new songs.
Yeah, we got like 4 new songs laid down, and then we're doing a couple of covers that we do out when we play live shows.
Okay.
We're doing a Oi Canuck by Close Shave, and that one's almost done. And then we did what was the other one? It's a Partisans cover.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
that's cool. So y'all are covering some bands that don't get often covered. You're not just doing Ultraviolence.
Yeah. We're not picking the Cockspar greatest hit, you know.
Right. So I was going to chuck these to you. This is one that I like to ask a lot of most people if they're in the know. It's basically a versus, right? Clash or the Stiff Little Fingers?
I'd go with Stiff Little Fingers.
Why is that?
I've seen them live and they're really good. And the Clash, I don't know. I just never really got into them. The Clash and the Ramones just never really got my goat. So. Oh,
the Ramones too, huh? Heavy.
Yeah. I mean, I like them. I can rock with them, but they're not my favorite. You know what I mean?
Right. You're not gonna make someone turn it off at the party, but you're also not gonna request it.
Yeah.
I'm with you.
They're all right. They're good music. They're better than 99% of the shit that's out there on the radio and like anything like that. You know what I mean? It's just,
man.
I never really personally got into them. You know what I mean?
Most of
the older punk rock like that, I didn't spend a lot of time with that stuff. I was more of like into hardcore, and then I was into Oi. You know, I mean, it was like just never those bands never really got me, like the 70s bands, you know?
I get that. Like the Dead Boys and shit too, or just like the...
They're okay. I mean, like, I like all those bands. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But they're not my favorite. I prefer some Cro-Mags or some Agnostic Front, you know.
That's funny you said that. My next question was Victim in Pain or Age of Quarrel?
Age of Quarrel, that's my number one.
Really?
Yeah, that's my number one album of all time.
I mean, I can't fucking argue with that on any level. But let's see. What I was gonna ask another one, Oi related. I didn't write this down because I'm a fucking retard. It was Foreskin's Last Resort.
Different songs, but probably if I had to choose one, probably Last Resort.
Is that right?
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, both of those bands got some of the illest, most well-known Oi songs ever written, but
they were on those early Oi comps.
you were sure. Yeah, man. Let's see. There was a thrash one I was gonna ask you too, and I forgot. I remember one of them. Fuck it. I'll fill in the other one with one you already said. So DRI or SOD?
SOD only had the one little record. The rest was kind of like, but I'd have to say DRI. And I've seen them a ton of times.
Yeah, they're fun. They're really fun, man. Where do bands like, this is another one I'll ask you about thrash. I forgot how into thrash you are. How do you feel about bands like Municipal Waste and Iron Reagan and stuff like that are basically just doing what DRI was doing?
Yeah, Municipal Waste to me was just like a knockoff of Cryptic Slaughter.
Yeah.
So, and I liked Cryptic Slaughter when I was a kid. So that it's all good. I mean, to me it's like an imitation of them, but it's good. For sure.
I mean, I'm with you on that, man. One of the issues I always had with going to thrash shows is that's where, especially up here, I'm a little further north than y'all are. And dude, fucking boneheads showed up to the thrash shows more than the punk rock shows. They were a fucking pain in the ass. They were like a rash. Was that true down there as well? Because I mean, I grew up in LA a little bit, but I wasn't there all the time.
Yeah, they show up at some weird shit like fucking Slayer and like,
yeah,
just weird shit. Like, but those are like, it's weird. It's more like the prison white trash, like not fucking skinhead kind of boneheads.
Yeah, it's the Peckerwood dudes that show up to that shit. Okay, man. Well,
they're fucking rocking their fucking shit, and you know, it's hard to like go somewhere and deal with them there. You know what I mean? Like
for
if
sure.
Our shit, they're fucking toast. But for us to specifically go to those events and look for them, I mean, it happens. I mean, sometimes they get got, but in general, we don't go looking at those events for them, but we know they're there. We know they're hiding there.
Oh yeah. They dress down. I've caught them. I've seen tattoos, slip from underneath a dirty Pendleton and be like, oh, this motherfucker over here's got a big ass 88 tattooed on him. Let's get him.
Yeah.
So what do you want to see happen? What would you want to see happen with Unity Fest as far as how big would you like that to get? Do you want to keep it kind of an underground fucking deal, or would you like this to blow up?
No, I'd like it to blow up. I mean, I'd like to get a couple of like bigger bands that'll attract some people and let all the smaller bands have their moment. Like we don't have to stack it with like these huge bands like Punk Rock Bowling, but we do need a couple of headliners to bring in the masses, because hardcore and Oi shows are usually fairly small.
Sure.
I mean, I like those shows like that. But truth be told, if we're going to try to make a run of it and try to be able to do this on a regular basis, it's really, really expensive to do. So with production and everything and like getting all the bands paying, we try to make sure everybody gets paid. I mean, there's some bands that like they're friends and they'll come and they'll play, and it's like you can make it work with those bits and pieces. But like the bottom line is you need like headliners to come, and there's not a lot of Oi and hardcore headliners that can come at that particular time and make a show. You know what I mean?
Yeah, of course. I mean, our guys, or know the guys from like Agnostic Front and stuff, and they could come out, but they might be on tour in fucking Finland. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Roger said that he'd love to play it, but last time we tried to work it out, they were Prague or Czechoslovakia somewhere.
Right. Well, those guys, a lot of those bands fucking live over there because it's huge over there. They can actually make a really good payday over in Europe, from what I understand from the guys I've talked to the tour over there. So, yeah, it's not always easy to make it jive, the schedule jive. But is there anything else you want to let? Oh, you know what? Do you have you guys still have merch that people can buy, and where can they get it?
We do have merch. We took down the online store because it was too much. Hey, I need a small of this one, and it was just too much, too hard to like try to keep everything in stock. So they could just hit us up on Facebook or Instagram or whatever, and just send us a message, and we'll check if we have it. We'll send it out. If we don't have it, next time we print it, we'll put you on a list and get it out to you.
There you go. Yeah. So there was the Union_Oi, and then there's 21 Gun Salute Instagram for Instagram. And then if you know any of the fellas,
it's 21 Facebook. Gun Salute SGV.
That's right, SGV, and 21 Gun Salute. The 21's the number. It's not spelled out, right?
Correct.
Yeah. So get at my man on there. You can get some merch if they got what you need. And I know y'all still got records and shit. Are you still got stuff on Crowd Control? Can they go there?
They can still go to Crowd Control. The first record is still on Crowd Control.
Right on.
We still have a couple cases of copies. We've made a lot of them. We're like,
right on. I need to get a copy too. I gotta fucking hang it up. I got the Unity spot right here on the wall. I got Rick. You remember Rick from Strong Arm? He painted that. Then I got the Crucified Skins that Jeff from up north made. I gotta put that 21 Gun Salute record right there.
Yeah. Man.
Anyhow, I'll let you get going, brother. I don't have much more for you unless you have any closing words for folks.
No, that's pretty much it. I mean, follow the band, come to the fest. Keep checking out my man's podcast here. I told my kids I was going to be on it, and they're like, "Isn't that like all serial killers?" And my kid listened. I'm like, "Yeah, I got some things you don't know about." And then I cracked a joke, something about like I like cornflakes and Cheerios, you know, like. And they just looked at me like, "Oh, fucking dumb dad joke."
Yeah, for real. Oh man. Well, good luck to your girls too. I know at least one of them in college, so.
All three of them are in college. One's getting ready to graduate in next month.
Heavy.
Oh, boy, my son.
Oh man, I'm behind on the times. I didn't realize that much time had gone past. Well, what's you know what? Fuck it, dude. Let's play a song. Which 21 Gun Salute song you want to play at the end of this joint?
If you got do you have a American Oi? That one's kind of a new one.
That's one. I think you sent that to me. I think. I'm pretty sure I do. I'm pretty sure. I got to check my files, but if not, I'll bug you and I'll get it. Have you send me another copy.
Yeah, that was the last. That was the last small session. We recorded like 4 songs up at our friend's studio up in Victorville.
Yeah, no, I definitely heard it because that was the one that had the Commitment to Excellence song in the file as well.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
cool. Well, we'll fucking play that one right now. Chad, thank you so much for coming on the show, my man.
Awesome, brother. Thanks for having me, man.
Absolutely. Go see him. Go fucking visit my man on the Instagram. Hit him up for merch. Follow the fest. Follow the Union Oi Studios. Follow 21 Gun Salute. And keep tabs on that shit. Come out and see us out there. Chad, my brother, I'll see you soon, okay?
If anybody wants to book us, hit us up. We're looking for shows. We're looking to travel. We're looking to get on festivals and whatever. All righty, guys. That's it.
Fuck yeah.
Good
Do that shit too.
See you guys when we see you.
Cheers, brother. Have a great night, Chad.
All right, man. Bye, guys.
We're back again like we never left because we literally never did. Chad and I got to talking after we finished up this last recording that you just finished listening to. And we're talking about some things that maybe need some clarification about some of the things we talked about earlier in this interview. So, Chad, where you want to start from, brother, man?
Yeah, basically, like, I just wanted to like talk a little more about the Unity stuff and you know, the Unity crew, the Unity family, the whole get down, you know.
For sure.
Like, you know, we're kind of labeled as a skinhead street gang, and it's really like, I mean, yeah, like you could categorize some of us as some of that, and but in general, it's a lot bigger than that, and it's a lot. it's a lot broader than that.
Sure it is.
You know, we got like being a skinhead isn't a requirement for being part of the family. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
What comes first and foremost is being cool. And then you gotta earn your way into the family, and then you gotta earn your stripes and all that other good stuff.
Right.
But you know, this started a long time ago. When we started this, we didn't even know what we were starting. We had no idea, you know, 30 years later we'd be, you know, nationwide and have all these different little offshoots and cliques and people that you would never have come in contact in your normal day to day if you stayed in your own little zone or own little box.
Yeah. It's like you said, it's not just skinheads, punk rockers and fucking cholos and bikers and shit. Just like you said, anyone that's fucking cool and down to ride.
Yeah, we got pretty much running the gamut of it all. You know what I mean? Now we've got this big, huge age range. We got youngsters coming up. We got old guys. We got guys that are like already having grandkids. I went to a drive-through baby shower for one of my good friends' grandkid, which still trips me out. You wouldn't peg him as a grandpa, but you know, years go by and time goes on. Families grow.
Yeah, it happens to all of us, man.
But yeah, you know, we didn't know what this was going to be when we started it. Basically, we just started it because we were tired of like the neo-Nazi boneheads and all that stuff coming to punk rock shows and coming to our stuff, kind of fucking up the program. And we decided, you know what, we're gonna get together. We're gonna run these guys out of our stuff. It doesn't hold well. Like when you get a group of 15, 20 guys that can roll up to a party or roll up to a show and run everybody else over, and nobody can do anything because everybody is like an individual. That's why we decided to do this. And that was like the main igniter for this whole fire, you know?
Sure. And I mean, unlike having you know, like some of the punk rock kids I grew up with, they were down if they all happened to be in the same spot. But when you put somebody under a flag and you go, yo, man, if I get down, you're getting down. It's guaranteed. Don't, you know what I mean? You're rocking the same flag as me. We're doing the shit. And you get 15, 20, 30 motherfuckers that can make that happen and aren't shook, then that's the way it's good. That's the only way to do it. That's the only, because you're waging war against a bunch of fucking jerk offs that are ruining a good thing, you know?
Yeah. It's like a deep embedded gang mentality, which any group of people that rolls together long enough is going to have. The police have it, like soldiers have it. Anybody that rolls together long enough, like even your family, like everybody, like they gather those around them and they'll fight tooth and nail for those around them. And we just decided we were going to do that, and we were going to do it big. And you know, this is what it's led to. We pretty much cleared out all that nonsense from our area, and all of LA has basically benefited from us clearing house, because you don't see that stuff in LA. You don't see that stuff in San Gabriel Valley. You don't see that stuff in San Fernando Valley. You see some of it out in Orange County, but it's a little different over there because the police are pretty much embedded in that stuff. And there's not much you can do about it, because you go there and you're automatically going to get in trouble for whatever happens. You're automatically liable and responsible. So we cleared out a lot of the Inland Empire. That's all cleaned up. You still got like all those fringe people way out in the middle of nowhere that aren't really doing nothing, but it's all pretty much cleaned up. And I feel very proud that we were the ones who cleaned it up.
Yeah. I'm proud as fuck to wear this fucking, I forgot if you're wearing a shirt, flying the flag. I'm proud as shit to have this tattoo. I'm proud as shit when I get hit up by fucking, oh, you fucking SGV. Yeah, you goddamn right I am. You know, it's a fucking great thing to be a part of. It's a great thing that, you know, you and all the fellas that came before me did for the scene. really in California as a whole, but we're known nationwide. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, of course.
There was prices to pay for all that stuff. I mean,
Of course.
there were people that got stabbed, people that got shot, people that got incarcerated, people that got just their whole lives destroyed over this stuff, you know, fighting for what we believed. And I won't give you any stories, but we have a lot of people that have come and gone past, you know, and I won't tell you any stories about anybody that's around or anything that could get anybody in trouble. Cause you know,
of course,
you know, that's just dumb. But, you know, I got 30 years of stories.
Sure.
A lot of it was, you know, just out shit happens and erupts in violence or shit happens and this group got jacked up or that group got jacked up. Every once in a while we'd get jacked up, you know, it was just on and on and on.
Mm-hmm.
But, you know, we'd get hit up. Like we always had to fight with the local gangs because they always thought like, oh, we're a neighborhood. We're this little gang and we're trying to like deal with their turf and they're worried about their drug turf and their gang turf and, you know, all that other stuff. So we had issues on that end that most of the skinhead scene has no clue. Most of the punk rock people have no idea, like all the stuff we went through with that stuff.
Yeah.
All the way up through the prison system and all that other stuff. And we've maneuvered through all of that because we're not a gang, because we don't do the things that gangs do, sell drugs, extort people, you know, all that kind of stuff.
That's crew. It's a crew.
That's why we've never been lumped in with all of them, even though we've had to deal with a lot of the politics and a lot of that stuff. We've always managed to like stay out of that, most of the nonsense and bullshit with that stuff.
Yeah.
And, you know, we rock a 21 as like that's a symbol for unity. I mean, it's not the same numbering system as you get people in the prison system. You get the 14s and the 13s and the, you know, all the bikers with that attached numbers to their stuff. It's a different numbering system. So that's why we don't have to deal with all of that stuff. Right. And that's pretty easy to like see that like we're not trying to be, you know, a neighborhood, and we're not trying to be a motorcycle club. We're not trying to be any of that stuff. Right. We've kind of separated ourselves and trying to be righteous and trying to do what's right for the scenes that we're involved in.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. You know, what's funny? Something that's happened recently, I just never realized this because I've barely left California my whole life. I didn't even get on a plane for the first time until I was 31 years old. So I found out from other people around the country, like in Hawaii, you know, out down south and whatnot, they don't have crews like we do in California. It's just not a thing in other parts, even in the country, which tripped me out. I was like, I just thought it was all everywhere was like this.
Yeah, the crews kind of like evolved out of gang culture. And you know, if you were an individual, you would go somewhere and there'd be gangs and you'd get run over by, you know, 15, 20 guys, however many guys were there. Mm-hmm. And, you know, like most gangs, they're just trying to punk people. They're just trying to like build themselves up and try to be the big dog on the block. That's right. How most gangs operate and most gangs run their stuff. Sometimes it's hard not to be bullies, but we really try. We even discuss it amongst ourselves. Like, let's not be bullies. Let's not use our strength to like pick on people. Let's only use it for like to stop people from invading or stop others bullshit from going on, you know? Mm-hmm. So, but every once in a while, people want to test it and find out, and they're like, oh man, like I had no idea. And they, you know, shit happens.
Yeah, that's that gunfighter shit. You know what I mean? Yeah. You can never turn your back if you're the motherfucker that is undefeated. Someone wants a shot at the title, you know?
Yeah.
For sure. I know we said we weren't going to, we talked about this because we're trying to be careful about this shit. Are there any stories we can go back to the old days, talk about some shit without implicating anybody?
Where do you want to, what kind of story you want? You want a stabbing story or a shooting story or a, there's been so many like incidences and like, we have some people that have like passed away. We had somebody that passed away because his kidneys failed. We had another guy that passed away, sad enough, from suicide.
Yep.
I feel like I can talk about some of the stuff they were involved in without getting anybody in trouble or anything. This is just things that I've seen,
Yeah. Well, I mean, look, think about it like this. I'm not necessarily looking for blood and guts. But really what I as fucking demented as this sounds to most people, most normal motherfuckers, violence can be funny from time to time. So this is kind of what I'm on about. Sometimes these war stories, the reason skinheads sit around telling the same war stories all the time to each other is because it's kind of fucking funny. So that's kind of what I was after. You got anything from back in the day that maybe, well, I mean, I'm hip to a bunch of it, but not all of it. Maybe you got something you could tell motherfuckers that have cracked somebody up on the other end of this.
I'll give you one. All right. We're hanging out. This is a New Year's Eve party. We're hanging out. Another crew's hanging out. Everybody's hanging out. At midnight, everybody's like, oh, Happy New Year. Like, everybody's hugging, everybody's bros, bottles are popping, everybody's friends with everybody. At about 12:09 or so, there was a little scrap in the side of the yard. And,
all right.
And then a couple more people got involved. And then a couple more people got involved. Next thing you know, the whole party is fighting. They go over the neighbor's fence, through the neighbor's front fence, into the street, start hearing gunshots down the street. Cars are peeling out everywhere. Everybody's scrambling. Nobody knows who's fighting who anymore. And it's just utter chaos. And it was everybody at that party 10 minutes before was best friends and just happy as shit to be together. Like, I love you, man. I love you too. Like, everybody loved everybody. 10 minutes later, it was World War III.
Yeah, that type of mayhem's funny, bro.
That was an awesome one. And for years, there were skirmishes and fights and everything because of what happened that night. And that went on for probably 7-8 years.
Sure.
And I know one night there was an incident out in Hollywood, and the two sides came together and they were talking this and that and this and that. And one of our guys who had actually passed away was just arriving to the scene, and it looked like the one of their guys was about to hit somebody. But what their guy was actually saying, why are we fighting? Why aren't we all friends? Why are this? Why are that? And he's seen that guy stick his hand in his pocket or reach for something or whatever it was. And before, like, he was off in the distance. So by the time he got there, it looked like the guy was going to do something. It looked like they were fighting. But the actual words that were coming out is, why are we fighting? We're all in the same, like, family, like same boat. And before, like, he could do anything, like, shots rang out. And the guy who was saying, oh, let's all be cool, he got shot in the leg. And it was kind of crazy, but it went on like that for a couple years. They'd catch one or two guys and jump them. They'd get caught one or two guys and jump them. And it went back and forth for, years. Yeah. And now we all look back, we all laugh about it together. Hey, remember when my friend shot your friend? Hey, remember when our friends jumped your friends? Like, you look back and you think, why were we ever fighting each other? That was just, like, it just happened. And it was like that with a lot of different groups. And now that we've all kind of grown older and gotten past a lot of it, the crew stuff, most of it is gone. Most of it is squashed. we figured out how to get along with all of the other big crews, pretty much all the other big crews in the country. And you know, you got little crews that come up like you know, little kids, and they want to test sometimes, but it doesn't take them long to figure it out. And
right.
But like that isn't nowhere near what it used to be. It used to be full on gang violence, and now it's really, really mellow. But
I'm glad that it's calmed down a little bit, you know. But I mean, the other thing, like you say, that little shit turns into big shit. And even, I'm not going to get into specifics. I mean, we got to be vague, but there's been recent stuff. And, you know, when I say recent, like in the past 10 years or so, where there have been, you know, brushes with other crews where it's like just one incident with 2, 3, 4 people, and it turns into a thing, but pretty quick it gets squashed because nobody really wants to go to war. You know what I mean? I'm not going to name other crews, but you know what I'm on about. Yeah, and it's getting taken care of pretty peacefully these days, which is good, which is real good. And everybody's still on that fuck the Nazis shit. And so when we're all working together, we can definitely get that done. We really don't have to fucking scrap. If everyone's like, motherfuckers fall in line, then we don't even have to scrap. We're good.
Well said. But, you know, it seems to have calmed down. Every once in a while, an incident here flares up, or somebody gets their feelings hurt over there, or like whatever it is. But like, we're all grown ups now. Now we can find diplomatic solutions. Whereas before, you're a kid, like you want to just hammer everything, you know?
Right.
And
right.
Now we're smarter. Nobody wants to go to the big house and hang out when you don't have to.
Fuck no. And like you said, like once in a while, somebody's got to get checked here and there, but usually that's the end of it. That's good. Yeah. That's good stuff.
I think cell phones have calmed things down quite a bit too. I think knowing that you're on constant surveillance, you're a little bit more likely to be like, all right, if I crack this guy right now, there's going to be 6 phones watching me. Mm-hmm. And he's probably a pussy and going to press charges because they don't do it like the way we used to do it. We used to just fight and then like, all right, I'll get that guy next time. Now it's like, oh my God, I'm suing you.
Yeah, right. Which is a bitch move. It's a bitch move. And I guess the end result is better, you know, than somebody dying or going to prison. But I will say this, it drives me fucking crazy when the younger kids film the homies. If they just, you know, you get in a one-on-one fight and you're filming the homie and then you post it on the thing, like that shit's got to stop. That's not good. Like, let motherfuckers, you gotta at least be able to get that taken care of.
That's dry snitching at its worst. You know what I mean? Like you get somebody and like, I remember back in the day, I used to take a big old camcorder and like record these like shows, you know, like this big old, look like Fox News or something fucking retarded, you know, like big old fucking.
Well, the VHS one.
Yeah, the big VHS fucking thing with the full size fucking tape. You should take those. And I remember one time I caught a stabbing on the tape, and I was like, oh man, sorry, my show is gone. Like shredded that fucking tape. Like not trying to get like, I don't know if the person deserved it. I don't know if the person who did it like was a psycho. I don't know. Like all I know is it wasn't my business, and I wasn't letting anybody like get busted for just because I had a tape.
100%.
Kept it. It would have been like trying to remember that movie, Menace to Society, when he kept the dog's tape. There you go.
I was just gonna say.
I think this might have been pre that though. It was a long, long time ago.
Shit, when did that movie come out? Like 91 or 2, something early like that.
90s. So this was probably 90 or late 80s or something like that.
And Chauncey sent the fucking tape into the cops because he's mad because he couldn't take a ass whooping like a man.
Exactly.
Fucking hell. Oh man.
I got another one. One time we went to a party in El Monte. I'll go ahead and give you the city. We went to a party in El Monte. And basically, like, we're there, we're drinking. Some of the local gangsters showed up, right? So they're like, all right, like, hey, we're coming in. Like, and then so we're like, all right, come on in, be cool. Don't like no snappers, whatever, you know, the the whole thing. And you know, fucking 10 minutes in, there's a slam pit, and these cholos are there like grabbing people and throwing them down and beating them up. And it's like, hey, wait a minute, hey, you're doing it wrong. Like, it's not about that. Like, they're gonna bump into each other. You wanna like have some contact. Go jump around with those kids. Go do what they're doing. Don't stand on the edge fucking people up. That's chicken shit.
Yeah, that's bitch shit.
They were like, all right. And then, you know, 5 minutes later, they're doing the same thing. And somebody took exception to it, so hit one of them. Next thing you know, like all of a sudden they're fighting. And one of our friends, he's a big fucking nutcase, but you know, he's gone now. So he went over and he grabbed a keg of beer, half full keg of beer, and he fucking hit some dude in the head with it. That dude got knocked out, and his friends like tried to jump him, and our friend laid out 3 or 4 gangsters, and then they scooped up their friends and they said, we'll be back. We're gonna fucking shoot you motherfuckers up, and we're gonna this and we're gonna that. And so, you know, like our security team at the time, like, you know, armed the front door, did what they had to do, and like nobody ever came back. But there was like oh, now you got a green light. You guys fucking were gangbanging, and it's like, nah, bullshit. So right. we let the powers that be know what went on, and it got squashed from the top down. And
right.
You guys fucked up. So that was a fun one.
Yeah. I actually remember one. This was it was years and years back, and I just won't say no names. We just talked. You and I were just talking about this person recently, but our man was walking through that club that the homie used to own in LA that he sold. Walking through the club, I don't remember, Templar show, something like that. And no, it wasn't. I don't even remember. Anyway, walking through the club with the homie's wife, and this fucking dude bumps into her, and he said, "Hey, you need to apologize." He goes, "Oh, I'm sorry." He's like, he said, "Oh, I already did." And he goes, "I didn't fucking hear you." Just, and then left the kid there sleeping, and then just walked off like it was nothing. I laughed so goddamn hard. Like, it's just funny. I guess you
learn today. Get some manners one way or another.
Yeah, man. Yeah. What did you learn? God damn it. Anyway.
Yeah,
I tell you,
that goes on and on and on. 30 years worth of weekend stories. We pretty much were like road warriors. We'd get in the car, and we'd pile in the little car when we were young. We were 17, 16. We'd get like 8 or 9 of us piled into one little car. I used to have this little Honda Civic, and I swear we would put 7, 8 people in that little car. And
yeah,
we would
man.
go to a show, and we would whatever. If there were boneheads there, we would just find them and rock them and hang out and be the toast of the party, and everybody would be like, "Thank you," like, and we're like, our minds are blown. Like, why did you guys not do that? There's 100 of you here,
right?
Like, oh, because there were 6 of them, or because there were 8 of them, or whatever. You know what I mean? And but like, if you go and they're not hard to find.
Yeah.
They weren't back then.
They used to stick out like a sore thumb on purpose. Now, we talked about this. We talked about this a little bit beforehand. Those motherfuckers will show up and wear a hoodie with a Pendleton and shit, trying to cover up all their 88 tattoos and shit. You know, takes a trained eye to fucking spot those motherfuckers. It's usually a Pennywise shirt.
You know what sucks is you look like them and I look like them. So,
yep.
We've been in big old brawls. I remember one day I was in a fight and I had some guy on the ground, and one of my friends walked up and kicked me in the back of the head.
Hey, Matilda wanted to say hi.
Hi, sweetie. How you doing?
Good.
That's my brother Chad. Now you know Chad.
Yay!
I love you, sweetie. I'll be on a bit, okay?
Sleepover!
Yeah. All right. Run on. Love you, sweetheart.
Stay up until like 12:30.
You do. I love you. Sorry, brother.
It's Saturday night.
Yeah.
We're all hopped up on some Kool-Aid and
Mom's away. Mom's at the homegirl's house, and we're gonna party.
Yeah.
I'm sorry to cut you off. Please finish the story there.
Oh, we were getting down with some boneheads at a Cro-Mags Exploited show, and I was tangled up with one, and I got on top, and I was hitting him, and one of my homies came up and fucking kicked me right in the back of the head, and I jumped up. I'm like, "What the fuck?" He's like, "Oh man, I'm sorry. I just seen the bald head and the braces," and because that's how they were all rocking the bald heads and the braces at the time, and
Right.
we've always like rocked the bald head and the braces and the boots, but he was like, "Man, I'm so sorry. Like motherfucker, you kick like a girl."
Like fucking Harlem Nights, you hit like a bitch.
It happens. It happens.
It does. It does. I've definitely been socked by one of the homies on accident. It fucking
Friendly
happens.
fire. We call it friendly fire.
Yeah, yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yo, you were talking about packing like 7-8 people into a Honda Civic. I gotta ask, because we did this shit all the time as kids. Did you have somebody in the trunk?
Oh yeah, it was a little hatchback. We'd have 2 or 3 motherfuckers in there.
It
wasn't a regular trunk. It was like a hatchback.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Like a CRX, like that.
No, like a 70 something Civic, like a little tiny, almost looked like a bug, like the old Civic.
I'm hip. Yeah, I was thinking an early 80s model, but you're talking late 70s. I'm with you.
70s. I remember one night we went out to a show, me and some friends of mine, you know, Pudding, right?
Oh, of course.
And so we got pulled over, and we were just getting to the show. We got pulled over by the sheriff's department, and they walk up on us, and they got their lights and everything, and there was only 5 of us in the car that night, and they got their lights, and they're looking, and they could see that we had a box full of 40 ounces in the back, because you could see it in the window. And he like gets me, "You got any alcohol tonight? You've been drinking?" I'm like, "No, we haven't drank anything. We're good." And he's like, "Well, what's that in the trunk?" I'm like, "Those are beers for later." And he's like, "All right, everybody out of the car. Let's see IDs. Let's do this. Let's do that."
Of course. Just anything. They're trying to get you on anything.
Yeah. So he got, car with fucking full of skinheads. We used to get pulled over like crazy. You know what I mean? Like 2 or 3 times a weekend. And so we got pulled over, put on the curb. They're checking it out. They opened the trunk, and they said, "All right, there's 4 dudes here, and there's 8 40 ounces of Old English." And the one cop, like, he pulled it out, and he like felt that the beer was nice and cold, and he goes, "Oh man, too bad it's nigger beer, or we would keep it and put it in our trunk."
Oh, it's Mickey's or some shit, or OE or something.
We were just like, "Oh man, what a fucking piece of shit." And he's like, "I'll tell you what, you guys got 90 seconds to dump it all out," because a couple of the guys were underage. I think I might have been underage too. I was 20-ish, 21, somewhere right there. And they're like, "You guys got like 90 seconds to dump it out." So we were dumping each had a 40 ouncer in our hand, dumping them out, watching them fucking go down the gutter, because they hadn't drank anything yet. And cop looks over at Pudding, and Pudding's like watching the beer go down the gutter. And he tells Pudding, "You look puzzled, son." Because Pudding was just looking at it like in bewilderment, just sad. Because that was our fun for the night. You know what I mean?
That was the night. Yeah.
Yeah. We watched it run down the gutter, and he tells him, "You look puzzled, son." So for years, like it's 30 years later, I still tell him sometimes, "You look puzzled, son."
To Pudding.
Yeah.
So at Unity Fest, I was so hammered. I don't drink. I don't drink like I used to, but goddamn, I was so hammered at Unity Fest the first day. I walked up to Pudding and thought he was Chico. I was like, "Hey Chico, I'm gonna get you that artwork you asked me for the other day. I'll talk to you soon." And he was wearing like chanclas and stuff. Like he wasn't all dressed up or nothing. And fucking, he walked away. He was talking to Ian, and he goes, "Man, that motherfucker's having a good time, huh?" Yeah, Pudding fucking rules. That's a good dude, man.
Didn't Chico used to be like a derogatory, like generic statement for Mexican? Those Chicos or those
I'm not hip to that one.
What was it? It wasn't Chico. It was there was a name. Oh man, I can't remember the name. I don't know.
I mean,
It was one of their names, or Pancho. Those Pancho.
oh, yeah.
It was like a, and I had a friend named Pancho, and I was like, we used to bust each other's balls. And
Poncho with lefty type shit.
yeah.
Oh,
It's funny because like the white boy equivalent of that is a Chad.
Right.
Of him
I
Chad.
think motherfuckers like the name Kyle now a lot for
Yeah,
that.
Kyle. They make fun of Kyle. That's the monster kids.
Yeah.
That punch holes in walls.
That's the one. At least it's another white boy name. You don't have to fucking suffer so much.
Yeah.
Oh man. Is there anything else you want to speak on, brother man?
Nah, man. Just wanted to like go and like get a little more in depth about what it is and what it was, and kind of like how it like grew into what it is, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And there was a lot of blood, sweat, and tears put into it before like people knew what it was, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And like there's a lot of people that like they're older and they're relaxed now. They're not like how they were. It was a different time back then too. Shit was violent and wild. Like it wasn't uncommon for somebody to get stabbed. It wasn't uncommon for somebody to get shot.
Mm-hmm.
Like nowadays, like it doesn't happen like that like it used to. At least not that I'm seeing anymore.
Yeah, I mean, I've talked about this with Ian. I mean, Ian, it's no secret on this podcast. Everyone knows who Ian is. He's my fucking best friend. He's one of our guys. And we talk about it all the time. Being kids, it was uncommon to not see weapons at a punk rock show. It was strange to go to a show where there wasn't at least a fight or two, you know. And now it's way less common. You go to shows all the time and you won't see fights, which that's a good thing. Because that shit was legit scary for a kid. You know what I mean? You're a kid trying to just get the fuck away from your psychotic parents or whatever reason you went to punk rock shows for, and people are stabbing each other. You know, it can. You know, I think it's better. I'm not one of these dickheads.
When you're in the middle of it, it's a hell of an adrenaline rush, though.
I mean, it was fun.
You know, we couldn't afford to go bungee jumping or you know, buy wave runners and shit and do fun shit like that. So we'd go and get our adrenaline, you know, at the show or at the fucking club or bar or whatever. And like,
right.
It was a different time though.
Yola, you know what I just watched? I was going to ask you because, I mean, I'm pretty familiar with the history of the joint, but did y'all ever get down over there at the Cuckoo's Nest when that was a thing? Or was dead and gone? That was dead and gone.
That was dead and gone. That's early 80s.
Yeah, I know it was, but I thought it came back later. Maybe I'm thinking of a different club, maybe.
I think it did come back for a few shows, but it got shut down pretty quick.
Yeah. That sounds right. And then now it's just some other bullshit. It's like a bank or something now.
I have no clue. There's been so many clubs and things that come and go. There's no real money in punk rock. I mean, there's a corporate sector pretty much now where they figured out how to cash in. But in general, there's no big money in punk rock.
No,
they barely make I mean, some bands get paid okay, but they can't do it full time. Almost everybody I know that's in a band, even a bigger band, they got a side gig or a job or something, you know. Only a few bands are actually making a living and a good living at punk rock or oi. There's no real oi bands making it.
No, I mean I'd say the closest to that is probably the Dropkick Murphys. You know what I mean?
They found a way to cross over though.
Exactly, and that's kind of it.
Yeah. Rancid does pretty good. Bad Religion does pretty good. Descendants do well. I mean, Pennywise, I'm sure, isn't hurting for money. You know what I mean? But
for sure.
There's a lot of bands that are barely like super, super crazy talented bands out there that just aren't getting what they deserve. And it's just because a lot of it is because there just isn't a big enough audience that's willing to spend that kind of money.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. I mean, yeah, punk rock has always been done for the love or just the outlet for the anger. You know what I mean? It's always been that way.
Yeah.
And I got no heat. I'll never understand the whole. If you're above the age of like 13 years old and you are shitting on somebody, calling them a sellout for making money at doing punk rock, I don't know where the fuck your head's at. That's crazy shit. It's weird. Like, it's amazing that Rancid got to where they are. It really is. Bad Religion too. It's crazy that they're where they are in music history and in the music industry. I don't understand why anyone would shit on it. I'm not the hugest Bad Religion fan. I like a bunch of stuff, but like, here's a perfect example. I don't care for Green Day, not one fucking song, but I'm not mad at those kids. They're just punk rock kids from Berkeley that fucking they did the work. They're legit punk rock dudes. You know what I mean? They're not just
struck lightning in a bottle. You know, it was just luck.
Yeah, good for fucking them, man. Like,
yeah, if people like them, they like them. Like, you can't fault somebody for what they like. I mean, you can think it's lame yourself, but you can't really like think, oh, a person's lame because of what they like. You know what I mean?
Right. Well, I mean, the line there is, here's the thing. I've said this on the show many, many times. If you like Green Day, that's phenomenal. I'll be like, hey, good for you. I'm glad you get to go see that band in a week or so. I'll be happy for you that you get to do your thing. But don't try to convince me to like them. That's where I get annoyed, when I'm like, yo, man, I'm just not fucking into it. I'm not into, you're not going to convince me this is good. For instance, this is the big one I get. I don't like this. I don't like Star Wars. It's not my thing. That's not a fucking big deal, but people get bent out of shape. Like I walked into their bedroom with 9 heads on. It's
not everything is for everybody. And like, you're trying to force what you like on other people. It just, you're lame.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. Oh, while I'm thinking of it, fuck it. Everyone else can listen to this bullshit we're talking about. Remember I called you about the drums earlier?
Yeah.
That stuff, I did some research. It was for the lugs. It was just to grease the lugs to put them in.
Oh, yeah?
For the bass drum. Yeah, that was all that was.
All right. Well, that seems kind of weird that they would want them. Seems like they would move if they were lubed.
Yeah.
Put some Loctite and leave them the fuck alone.
I think it's more what it is that it's because they come oiled, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But if you start to struggle with it a little bit, because sometimes they don't want to go in even right out of the package, you fucking just dip that tension bolt into the goo and then screw it down to the lug, and then it's all good. So that's all that was. Anyhow, shit, I was gonna say something else too, but I've been drinking now. I forgot.
Drink another one.
Cheers, brother. When's that We'll Drink to That song coming?
We actually have it recorded. We have to mess with the mix and see if the mix is gonna come out good.
Gotta master it.
But yeah, the raw recording, it's got a couple of high spots and low spots, so it may or may not have to get re-recorded.
Okay.
But we're actually going to be putting on a live show here from the studio. I think that we decided on April. Oh man, I can't remember the date.
It's cool. It's cool.
I want to say that like 22nd or something. But that's going to be one of the songs that's featured on the live feed.
Oh, phenomenal! Well, I'll make sure that this gets out before then, and I'll post it on the social media. Let me know what the exact date is.
Yeah, I can give you the date.
Are you going to have people come out to the show, or are you just going to do a live stream?
Yeah, no, we're going to have some. We're going to invite friends and family, and we're actually inviting like most of the people that like, or actually everybody that's been vaccinated.
I mean, I've been vaccinated. I'll show up if that's cool with you.
If you want to come out, dude, come on out. Like,
hell yeah.
We're just going to hang out. We're probably going to barbecue, drink, and then put on a show right here in the studio. It's not a huge room, but like it should be lively. It should be fun.
Yeah, for sure. Is anyone else playing, or is it just y'all?
I don't think we're going to bring anybody else for the first one. We're going to make sure we get the cameras and everything operating and dialed in and all the lighting, because we're bringing in lighting. And tomorrow we're actually setting up truss and putting up the lighting and stuff.
Oh, dope.
Yeah. And because we have some our brother Britt gave us some trussing. And,
Yeah, I knew it. As soon as you said truss, I'm like, I know Britt's behind that. He's
Yeah,
the best dude ever. Britt's the best guy in the world.
he hooked me up with a few sticks of it, so we're gonna put that up, and we got some lighting going on, some nothing crazy, but it should be ambient. Should have a cool ambiance.
Yeah, I'm into it, man.
Machine, and like we're gonna do it. We're gonna try to like make a little production out of it. So
yeah, that's fucking all
we're
right.
gonna fill the room, as many people as we can cram in here. We're gonna cram in here. So we're gonna empty all of the regular studio stuff out, and it's just gonna be the basic instruments and the crowd. So,
Yeah, and then a couple cameras. End of list.
cameras.
Love it. Absolutely love it. Well, brother, if you don't have anything else to add, we'll call it a mummy wrap on the day. I appreciate you coming back.
All right, man. See my new sweater?
What you got? Is
It's
that
from the
Marines?
Silent Drill Platoon from the Marines.
Okay.
My nephew is the drill master. He's here from DC, and he gave me this today.
That's hard, man. That's
yeah.
dope as fuck. I could tell it's the Marines, but I couldn't quite tell.
Yeah, it's the Marine logo with a couple of rifles. It's for the Silent Drill Platoon. But yeah,
that's hard.
He's the drill master, so really proud of the kid.
Yeah, congratulations to your man. That's awesome. All right, my brother. I appreciate your
cheers.
time.
Have a good night. Cheers, everybody. See you when I see you. Hit us up. All right, man. Later, brother.
Take care of yourself, my brother. Thank you for your time again. We'll talk to you soon.